This is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend D.G. Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/CapesandLunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Ron Mars. You are listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
In brightest day,
in blackest nights,
no evil shall escape my sight.
But those who worship evil's might,
beware my power.
GreenLantern's light.
Hello and welcome back to Sector 2814, the Green Lantern podcast. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, Master of the Cord is...
I am Will. Hey, everyone.
And this time we're back to talk straight Green Lantern issues, Green Lantern 158 through 161.
Who? I didn't know this podcast is about Green Lantern.
There's a few things in these issues I forgot about. I haven't read these in a while.
Me too. Me too.
All right, so like we were just discussing, I don't think there's any new Green Lantern news.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I mean the series, the comic book series, is still set for what, May?
Yep.
And who's it? Is it Jeremy Adams now who's writing it?
Yeah, I think so.
I believe so. Yeah, because he's writing Flash now, and I did see this week that they said something about and well, of course, Flash is going to go to 800 and then reboot to a new number 1. But when they reboot, they're getting a new creative team. So. And I did see Jeremy Adams was like, it was not his choice. He was like, I would love to stay with Wally and his family and stuff. He's like, but although it looks like, I guess on maybe his last issue 800, he gets it said something about like I think Mark Waid's doing something in there. So I don't know if he actually got the right with him or if he read a separate story. But
that's kind of cool because I mean, if there's any creator associated with Wally, there's none more associated than Waid.
Yes, right? Yes. And I believe when they reboot, they said it's still going to be Wally because I think, which is fine with me. I love Wally, but I think Lilith was saying, she's like, oh yeah, probably after the whole with the whole Ezra Miller debacle, maybe they just keeping Barry off to the side for a while.
Maybe
because the show will be coming to an end here soon in a couple, I think by April maybe.
I guess we'll see.
Have you watched it? Have you watched this season at all yet?
No, there are several seasons. I'm probably about 4 or 5 seasons behind on Flash.
Whoa!
It's always something that we're going to go back to. We just haven't done it yet. So.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, what do we got? We got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 episodes left, I think. Yeah.
Tell what, Phil? What are you talking about?
The end of the Flash series. What are you talking about? But yeah, lots of people are going to be showing up. May. Of course, it ends in May, so. It always ends in May. Well, it's only 13 episodes. But speaking of ties to the Arrowverse, did you watch the last Quantum Leap episode?
Yes. And I am curious because they didn't touch on it. So we know in the original Quantum Leap, Sam leaps back and lets Al's wife know that he's alive, and he changes Al's entire, personal timeline, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, didn't they just change Addison's personal timeline as well? Will she remember it? Will she, because she's linked to Ben.
Yes.
Will she know that has time changed or not changed? Will she, I don't know. I'm curious to see how they're going to address that. And they've been really good about addressing some of the mechanics of time travel, what this means and what this doesn't mean. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. But it was a really good episode, I thought.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why he didn't just change into the Atom and, go rescue the sub, but that's just...
but yeah, no, I've been loving that. Of course, I've been loving Quantum Leap, and I believe, that was renewed for season 2, so I'm trying to 4 more episodes left this season of that.
And they seem to be building to the, I'm using air quotes here, evil Leaper, right?
Oh yeah, that guy showed up again. Yes.
Except I think this was I think this show up was before his eventual show up earlier in the season.
Probably, yeah.
Talking time travel here, so it's going to get confusing, right?
It seems like a lot of people are jumping back from the future. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. It was a really good episode.
Oh yeah. I think all the other leapers we see are from the future. Well, actually, it'll probably be like the finale.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, no Green Lantern news. Lots of some science fiction news, but no Green Lantern news. Picard's still doing good. Yes, Captain Liam Shaw needs his own spinoff. And again, it's just keeps coming back to Locutus.
Yes. Wolf 359.
I mean, I get the trauma that all these people suffer. So, I mean, we even see, like, Sisko wasn't too happy with Picard in the first episode of DS9, but it's just like, I get the hard feelings, but it's like, shouldn't all these people also realize it's like, hey, Picard was forced to do this against his will?
And in fact, because of his very strong will, which is very much on topic for us, he was able to stop them along with the rest of the Enterprise, right?
Exactly. Yes. Oh, you said strong will. I was going to say Riker.
Yeah. Did you just throw an asteroid at that ship?
Well, they threw a ship at them.
Yeah.
What about how that must be hard boss to contact, man. She had like chop her hand off. Oh my God.
The changelings.
And I love 709, but it's just like I need more Voyager people.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would almost expect to see an appearance by a certain chief.
Oh,
because he was on 2 of those series.
Oh yeah, I mean. Oh my God, that's the other Star Trek news. I blew Lil's mind with this. They're doing the Dawn of DC, and they're coming out with they're rebooting titles, and they're putting out new titles. They're putting out Steelworks #1, a new John Henry Irons book. Guess who's writing it? You'll never guess. Never. I can give you all night. You'll never guess.
Philip Kennedy Johnson.
No. It's not even like a comic book. Someone you would associate with a comic book.
Ta-Nehisi Coates.
No. He wrote Black Panther. You can at least associate him that way. I know. No. The man who did the voice of John Henry Irons on Superman the Animated Series, and one of your favorite Star Trek actors, Michael Dorn.
Oh, interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, his Worf is interesting as well. Although they pushed that story to the back.
I know. We didn't see it this episode, did we? Yeah. I love the description he gave the episode before that of House of Moga.
House of Bane of
Son of Rashenko.
Who's working on himself.
Yes. But so he's gonna be writing the new John Henry Irons book, so
that's interesting. That's very interesting.
I'll put in a request if I can ever find how to contact him. Probably won't happen, but
oh well,
because
that's cool. Comics, very cool.
Well, that's however many was it? Sometime last year, I think there was there was a Batman villain special. Sorry, Ray, but there was a Penguin story in there, and Danny DeVito wrote that story.
Really?
Yeah. I forget. It was like a villain. Was it a Gotham villain special or something? Yeah.
Very cool.
Bunch of short stories. Yeah, and Danny DeVito wrote the Penguin one. Always interesting.
Batman, my favorite character.
Chance is never zero, Ray.
Yep.
He's everywhere. It's about still on the weekend of my birthday. Lilith is supposed to be here, and we're gonna go hunting in several comic shops. And I said I want to take pictures of all these back issue bins and send it to Ray, because they don't have those down there, I don't think.
Nice. That would he just needs to take a trip up here and then start filling some long boxes that we can then tape into a giant container shipped to him.
Ship him down, Ray, and then you'll see him in like 6 months. Yeah,
Exactly.
put him on him and a bunch of long boxes will take out like a barge home.
Yeah,
home
exactly.
I'll be home
I'm not leaving them. I'm not leaving them.
Be home in 2 months, dear. All right. Should we talk these issues?
Let's do it.
All right. I really don't have synopses. I mean, I'll do the credits and then we'll kind of walk through these. But all right. Remember, kids, Kyle Rayner's in space. He's giving up on humanity.
Green Lantern in space.
He's giving up on humanity. All right. Green Lantern 158 from March 2003. Away from home. It's like he's off at summer camp. Writer Judd Winnick, penciler Dale Eaglesham, inker Rodney Ramos, colorist Moose Bauman, letterer Kurt Hathaway, and editors Bob Schreck and Morgan Dontanville. All right, so what happens in this one? So basic. Okay, we'll go through this, but there's something that's bugging me about this whole thing. But no, we see. Cal and Jade on Oa, and Cal's playing with the little baby guardians. And Ganthit's basically like, why have you abandoned Earth?
You've abandoned your sector.
And Cal's like, there's pretty much, all of space detail, And again, it's like, Jon Stewart's on Earth, an admirable choice. But he says, is there any problem in any other sectors? And, guess what? There's a problem in Chip's sector. Because Chip's dead, right? He got run over by a truck in Mosaic, right? Well.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, Jon Stewart in the Mosaic. I mean, I wiped his mind, but I'm not going to tell you that, okay? He doesn't remember he's a Guardian. That's okay.
And does anyone remember Chip got hit by a truck?
A yellow bus. I thought it was a
yellow.
Oh,
yeah.
It was a bus? It was a yellow bus.
It was some kind of yellow transportation, yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. But yeah, there's like these creatures attacking these settlers on this mining planet.
Yeah. The boar beasts.
Yes. They're basically attacking this race that goes from planet to planet, just using up the natural resources.
Yeah. Jade's not too thrilled with that, as we find out early on.
Yeah. Is this the one too? Wait. I don't want to jump the gun here. Her announcement. I don't think we see that yet. Or is that in the next arc in the second 2 issues? Oh yeah, she calls these people locusts. They just go from place to place, and And Cal's like, that's not fair. You don't know what shape they leave these planets in, and besides, planets are a lot tougher than people. Since they leave, a world will begin to grow again.
And then she says, you're being awful forgiving considering you just ran away from Earth.
Oh! And he's like, I can't see these people hurting anyone. They just want to live without being terrorized. That's something I can understand. So they go and investigate. They find this cave where I guess the boar beasts are coming out of. And again, like the cliffhanger is basically like hundreds of these things just start coming up out of the ground, and it's just out of the cave, and I'm just like, I don't know. Don't you think the reveal that we get next issue would have been a bigger cliffhanger?
We've talked about Winnick's pacing issues.
Yes.
So I mean, and this comes up again here. I really don't like the new costume.
I know.
It doesn't have that simple elegance of the original design.
I mean the emblem is plain, all of it, and it's just like, I don't know if they're going for texture with all the straps and like the ridges and stuff, and I'm just like, why? We know it's not real cloth. He makes it with his ring. It doesn't have to look like real clothes. Is that just what you get when you don't have like a Daryl Banks designing the costume or something?
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, Jim Lee drew the costume.
Yes.
It still didn't look that great. If Jim Lee can't make it look good, then probably can't look good. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. If it just, does it look more military or?
I don't know.
There's not enough green in it, maybe.
Yeah, I just don't know.
And the collar around the neck. I'm like, why? Yeah, but again, we don't get to reveal where these beasts are coming from yet in this first issue. Just that there's a lot more of them where that came from.
There's more. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. I mean, I guess that's my complaint is I really, really don't like the new costume. Now, Jade's costume looks pretty much like her, it's a modified version of her costume from, back in the day.
Yeah.
It's got her symbol, so I think it looks fine. It's just the new, with those ridges on the arms and then the Green Lantern symbol on each shoulder that's black, but then the simplified, more geometric Green Lantern symbol on the chest, and then the straps on. There's.
I don't know if someone was going for like something closer to Jade's costume, even like a couple's costume. I don't know, but it just it
just doesn't work for me. So,
oh,
but hey, and if somebody likes it, rock on. I'm glad you like it, but it doesn't work for me.
I mean, I've heard people. I mean, of course, I like the first one, and I've heard people like what his White Lantern costume, people like that, but I never hear a lot of praise for this one.
Yeah. I mean, and then so when he comes back, does he wear a typical GL uniform for a while, but then he ends up going back to the classic costume? I can't remember post-Rebirth exactly what he does.
In Rebirth, I think he gets his original costume back, and then maybe, is it somewhere along the way? I don't know if it's like a typical Green Lantern costume, but is it something, like, does it change when we get the Ion series, maybe?
Maybe. Yeah, I can't remember for sure. And then, of course, he gets the White Lantern costume post Blackest Night, and then ultimately comes back around to his original costume again, after all New 52 kind of weirdness and stuff. So,
but I think it says something that he never comes back to this costume.
I think that you're right. That pretty much says it all.
All right. Should we get to the next issue?
You bet. Let's do it.
All right. Look here. Make sure it's the same team. Green Lantern 159, April 2003. Mad World. And yes, it does look like the same team. So, all right. So, yes, those things are coming up out of the ground, and everyone's like, "What are we gonna do?" I mean, I like the cover on this issue.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the art for this issue is good too. Dale Eaglesham? Yeah, I think it's good. It's just that costume. I know. Not my favorite.
Yeah, the art. The art's good. Even like the colors, like pop and stuff. And but then they like put a dome around the city, so so those people don't get overrun by these beasts. And then Kyle's like going to go investigate. He's like, "Can you says to Jade, can you hold the dome by yourself?" And like, I'm guessing she must know her own strength very well, because she's like, "Oh, I think I can hold it for about an hour."
Yeah.
I'm like, when you don't know the exact number of these things that are going to be beating on the dome, I mean, unless you just wanted to give them a rough estimate, like, let's say an hour. That's like a long time.
I mean, and the other thing, we know that Kyle restored her powers, but we really don't know the extent of her powers now. Are they back to what they were pre-Crisis? I mean, we're talking many revisions of the timeline ago at this point.
I thought it was, I mean, maybe it's just me headcanoning it, but I thought it was like they're exactly what they were before she lost them to the Starheart again in that miniseries. I thought it was just him turning them back on. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think he made any like big alterations. I thought it was just, I turned them back on.
Mm-hmm. I did it 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, I just turned the tap back on. Yeah. And again, have they ever like said I mean, her power is internal. It's part of like her body. It's like, does she burn calories the more power she uses, or it's like?
Well, it's magic though, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Ish.
So there is no limit then to how much she can use. Maybe
there's got to be. I mean,
because
the Golden Age Green Lantern. I mean, he's got the full Starheart, we guess, or we don't know. I don't know. I know that very soon, Or is it ongoing at this point? Was the JSA by Jeff Johns running right now, or is that later?
I think it's running, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty...
Because he was dealing with a lot of the JSA stuff at that time.
Yeah.
Was it JSA or Justice? I can't remember which. And then they also launched a Hawkman book around this time. Johns was writing a lot of stuff, especially around Rebirth, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yeah, I think it was around, like, JSA, what was it, like 25 or so? That he started writing that Hawk. That's when we came up with... wasn't that the time we came up with the big reincarnation stuff for Hawkman? Yeah. It's basically tying in every version of Hawkman ever.
Conan the Librarian.
Nice. They actually did something interesting, like what was the last Hawkman series? It was only a few years ago, but they were like showing it's like, yeah, all of his incarnations weren't even on Earth. Like at one point he was a guy on Krypton.
Oh, cool. I don't remember seeing that one.
Yeah, it was like I think it was the last series they did. Oh, did I see it? Is it Hawkman? Oh, it might even be they might be doing a Hawkgirl series coming up. I think it might be Hawkgirl. Yeah, one of the, yeah. Hopefully we won't have to, we might have to wait till the end of the year for another Justice League. I don't know. Because Titans is also coming in, I think it's May. Also written by Tom Taylor, so that's what I said. So thankfully, Nightwing should be written consistently between his own book and Titans, since it's the same writer.
It's the same writer, yeah. One would hope, right?
Because they're like doing a Titans arc there now. All right. So, yeah, what's the Resol? That's this race that's getting terrorized. Basically, drop a bomb and like try to. They blow the radium tankers. Yeah, and Jade's like, "You murdering little wit." But Cal's searching the cave and finds the source. An underground geyser, underground volcano that spouts energy. It looks like green energy too, kids. But then, yeah, Cal goes to the surface, sees the symbol. He's like, "Oh, it's Mogo!" which I'd forgotten. This is when we're getting Mogo back, because I remembered the whole Kilowog thing, but yeah, I'd forgotten about Mogo.
I forgot about. Yeah, I had too. So I was like, "What?"
And for a second there, I thought like Winnick was going to forget or something, but no. Like Cal even mentions, he's like, well, the last time me and Martian Manhunter were here, issue 87. Everything was all green and vibrant.
Yeah, because who did they settle there?
Oh yeah, there was another race. So what, did they die off, or did they, never?
I mean, because Kyle and the Martian Manhunter, right? That was the Kyle and Martian Manhunter thing. Yeah. Yeah,
because the vegetation started growing back, and because they did the whole thing because they were repopulating something, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, they never mentioned that. They just mentioned, but he's talking about this race showed up and started ravaging his form. It was only after Hal Jordan, in the guise of Parallax, sacrificed himself to reunite the sun, and Kyle became Ion. But yeah, he begins Strike Back. But yeah, that's when Mogo really started getting his power when Cal showed up. He was able to channel through that ring. Yeah, because he said where did he say it? Didn't he say? Yeah, after somebody destroyed the core, Mogo was like weak and looking for help, so he went to Chip's sector. Unfortunately, Chip had long since departed. That's true. I heard he had to catch a bus.
Oh, or a bus caught him.
So by the time he got to Chip's sector, he basically just I no longer remembered who or what I was. But yeah, being all formal. Successor to Hal Jordan. Who was successor to Abensur? But no, Cal gets Mogo to help, will agree to we these people, and the Resol are just like, nah, we're leaving. So Mogo just basically just asked Kyle and Jade to stay for a day.
Yeah, just hang. It's been a long time since I've hung out and
he's like,
shot the breeze.
He's like, I'll make you a beach.
Yeah.
All right. But that's basically it. Yeah, the aliens leave. Mogo's back, self-aware again, and So another Lantern returns. So Jon Stewart's back with a ring. We've got Mogo. Mogo may not have a power ring or anything, but Mogo's alive and awake again.
Awake, yeah.
Kilowog is floating out there as something else, so he's going to get fancied up here soon. So we're starting to build the core back up, Will.
What? Really? That's going to happen? Is something going to happen, Phil?
Oh, my God. Yeah, Cal Rayner's going to go back. There's a mini-series where Cal Rayner goes back to his original costume.
Yay! All right.
See, we all have something to look forward to.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, all right, before we get to the second two, that's its own arc. What did you think of these two?
I wasn't expecting Mogo because I hadn't read these originally, so I was like, okay, cool. So that was a nice reveal, but again, I really feel like Winnick is kind of leaning into the thing that he is least interested in, which is the superhero stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like what he loved doing and was most interested was personal life stuff on Earth,
Which is weird. I wonder if they told him to get Cal off the Earth, because I'm just like, why would he take Cal into space where it's going to be like 24/7 superhero stuff for the most part?
Yeah, I mean, and this is about, he doesn't have that many issues left, does he? What's his final issue?
I think the next arc after this, that's that Green Arrow tie-in, I think, that crossover, I think that's his last stuff, I think.
That's what, 4 or 5 more issues, I guess?
Let me look at the schedule. I mean, I think it might, that might be in 2 weeks. I think we're doing that. That might be it for Judd Winnick. Let me look, but I know it's if it's not, it's getting close here because then Ben Robb takes over until Mars comes back for that last arc. Yeah, 2 weeks might be the last Winnick. Let me see. Green Lantern. Yeah, because 160. Yeah, it'll be Green Lantern 162 through 164 for the crossover, and then the 3 Green Arrow issues. So, Green Lantern 165 will be after the crossover. Come on. No, yeah, Ben Robb takes over with 160 after the first issue after the crossover. So yeah, the crossover is Winnick's last.
Yeah.
So it's the issues we read tonight, and then we'll get back to the Green Lantern issues in 2 weeks with that crossover. That's it for Winnick.
And then it's Ben Robb, and then
till Mars.
We've never heard of Ron something, right? Who? Oh wait, I remember.
I think I heard his name at the beginning of the show.
I think I did too.
This is Ron Mars. You are listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yes. Then the aforementioned Jeff Johns.
Yes, we've mentioned him once or twice, I think.
Exactly. All right. So any other thoughts on these, or should we get to the last two?
I think we can get to the last two. I mean, I like the fact that we're getting more of the core, more of the.
Yeah.
I really find it interesting that we're getting this stuff, characters and myth kind of building stuff of classic Green Lantern lore from Winnick, who I really don't feel like he enjoys writing that stuff,
I wonder if was he under orders where it's like, yeah, we need to bring some of the core stuff back? I
don't know. I mean, I could be wrong too. I mean, it's just that in his early part of the run, he seemed to focus so much on the personal side of things. I mean, that's, at least from a reader standpoint, that's, for me, that seems to be where his interest was.
Oh yeah.
And then suddenly, we're off Earth and we're doing Green Lantern-y stuff, right? Which is pretty cool, but
All right, so yes, the next two are their own little arc. Green Lantern 160 from May 2003, Offspring Part 1. Oh, still same team. This is interesting because we talked about this, but the 160 opens up with Cal talking to Terry through a projection.
Mm-hmm.
Because Terry's he's still laying in his bed awake. Half his face is still bandaged and stuff, but But Cal's like, oh, you seem more like yourself. And Terry, well, if you had stuck around, you would have seen the complete transition from comatose vegetable to lovable bedridden wise guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's like, you don't think I abandoned you, did you? And Terry's like, that isn't what I don't feel abandoned. I'm angry. Yeah. But yeah, no, he's 15 pins in both legs, spotty short-term memory, 2 more eye surgeries. He says, I wouldn't run away from it if I could, which I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Cal says he'll call next week, and then cuts the connection, and then we see John standing there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Terry says, I miss him, a little scared. I like having him around. But John's like, you got a lot of people, including me. But then Terry asks John, he says, in a month or 2, when I'm back to reasonable shape, I was hoping you could help me with something. What do you need? Teach me how to fight. I never want this to happen again. And I'm trying to remember, we'll get there, but I'm trying to remember once Winnick leaves, I don't know if we get much, if any, of Terry. I can't remember, so.
Yeah, I'm, and this is just a guess because I haven't.
Yeah.
I've actually never read those issues.
Yeah.
I would say Mars probably doesn't.
Oh yeah. I mean, Mars is pretty much just wrapping things up for Rebirth. Mm-hmm. But no, even Ben Robb, I can't remember if Robb uses a lot of Terry at all. Which again, it's easy to ignore if you want because Cal's going to be in space.
Yep.
And then we get the whole story of the Guardians, and we mentioned the Zamorons. Wonder why we're doing that. And then then we see the little baby Guardians, and Cal's playing with them again. Although the one girl, Leanna, seems able to manipulate Cal's constructs. So, oh yes, this is okay. Here we go. Because Ganthet's talking to Jade and saying about how Cal is good with the children and he'll make an excellent parent someday. And then Cal's reading up on some planet they're going to, and God, the old joke. Jade's like, I'm late. No, you're not. We don't leave till tomorrow.
But bump.
Yeah, exactly. But she says she wants to go back for a pregnancy test. He goes, but listen, if you're pregnant, she'll want you to know. And she's like, let's just wait till we know. Then Ganthet rings, sends him a message, says Leanna's missing. And Cal, she's a rambunctious one. We'll search Ella. But yeah, they can't find her anywhere. Cal's like, how do you know she's not hiding? She could have masked her presence. But Ganthet's like, no, I can feel every one of the children except Leanna. But yeah, they talk about looking for her, but Ganthet's like, no, I'll find her. You go defend that planet. The planet, was it Aroxe, Aroxe, Sector 1542. A highly advanced race with a strict culture and a firmly established religious base devoted to harmony. But yeah, they've been attacked, and this big blue Amazon looking chick.
I wonder who that could be.
I don't know, Blue. I don't know. But basically, yeah, Cal and Jade attack her, and it's basically throwing them around, standing up there. Cal's constructs. She breaks Cal's hand.
Yeah, that's something that we don't see a lot of.
Yeah,
is recovery time. Either he gets magically healed or time passes, and and suddenly things are just back the way they were. But yeah, that's breaking the bones of the hand. That's a big deal, right?
Oh yeah, and then they take off, and she makes their powers cut out, and they fall and hit the ground. And our big cliffhanger, she comes over, sees Cal, and goes, Cal?
I don't know. I've beaten this dead horse, I'm sure. And I guess I'll continue to beat it because apparently that's just what I do. But, we had a 2-parter earlier.
Yes.
Which I actually thought was fairly well paced. They could have had the Mogo reveal at the beginning and then the second part. But it made sense, those first 2 issues. This one, I feel like this is another 2-parter, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like the pacing on this is a little off. I mean, because we had that big chunk of exposition right in the middle of,
Yeah.
this is the Guardians of the Universe, this is the Zamarans, and this is blah Oa, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I don't know, it just feels a little wonky.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
But that's just me.
I wonder, too. I wonder if it's like a last-minute thing, if he had something else, like even like a longer storyline or different, something else coming up in mind. Then they're like, oh, no. It's like basically he's going to be off the book after the crossover.
Maybe, I mean,
Or it's just like, oh, hey, let's do the crossover, since like I forget if he's either on Green Arrow at this point or he's going the Green Arrow. So, oh yeah, I think he was already on it. So, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a weird way for him to leave the book. I mean, he obviously had a long-term storyline with Ion, right?
Yeah.
After Ion, things have been, I mean, what are we, 10 issues past Ion at this point?
Yeah.
11 issues
Pretty much.
past Ion at this point. Yeah. Not really a lot. We got an issue where he gets his butt kicked. That's never touched on again.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, at least not during his run. Yeah, that's never brought up.
And I don't know. It seemed like Winnick's story was the Ion story, which was also included Ring of Fire, right?
Oh yeah,
right. At least the major chunks of Ring of Fire. And since then, there hasn't been a whole lot of focus or through line. There was Terry's story, which is important. I mean, it's a really important story, but it seems to be getting pushed off to the side, right?
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. I can't remember if we can't get any more with Terry's story. So,
So I don't know. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, even when Mars was doing, one-off stories, which he did a lot of one-off stories, there was still a through line of, this is Kyle and this is.
Oh yeah.
That was the theme. Kyle is the everyman learning to be a hero, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
At this point, he's been pretty much a god, and now he's back down to being human, and it's like, well, what's going on now? It feels unfocused to me, and I don't know if maybe it's on purpose, but to what end, I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say the whole thing with Mars and the one and dones. It's like he had so many crossovers to have to contend with.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, especially in the early days, you had Zero Hour, and then it was introducing him to the rest of there was the Batman crossover.
I didn't do it right.
Batman, my favorite character.
And then Wonder Woman and it was Captain Marvel, Shazam.
Yep.
So,
there
were.
Even before that, he had the crossover with the Titans book and Guy Gardner and
Zero Hour. And, I mean, it was firmly situating the book in the DC superhero universe of the time.
Yeah.
I get. I mean, when you think about it, I think that was a really good way to go for Mars, because Green Lantern had already been pulled away from, its lore and all of its mythic background and all that stuff. So he firmly situated it in relationship to the rest of the DC superheroes, right? This is where he lives. This is what he does. I think that was a really good idea.
Well, especially that first year or two, it's like, you're going to have to lean on other superheroes, because it's like John Stewart wasn't going to show up until the issue 70s. Really didn't have much Guy Gardner or even Alan Scott until later on.
And then what was it? 75 was the big
Craven fight.
Craven, yeah. And I've been meaning to ask you a question.
Yes.
So Fatality knows that a Green Lantern failed to save her planet. Does she know who blew it up? And then why isn't she going after who blew it up? I mean, sorry.
I mean, when she first shows up, it's after Emerald Twilight, unless she thinks, whoever blew up her planet's dead already or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's an odd choice.
If they wanted to do like like on your nose meta commentary, they should have had her go over after Guy Gardner first, thinking he was the one who blew up the planet, and they're like, no, it wasn't him.
It wasn't him. He missed that one.
sound like his attitude, but no. All right, so should we get to this last issue?
Let's do it.
All right, because again, with the ending of this, I have thoughts on this too. All right, so let me see. I believe this is the same team. Yeah, Green Lantern 161, May 2003, same team. Yes, the evil blue lady is captured, Cal and Jade, and then he eventually, after talking, Cal figures out it's Leanna. He's like, "Blue, you're blue."
Boo Radley. Boo.
Boo. But she's...
Okay, I'm an English nerd. You know that, right?
No.
I kind of feel like the To Kill a Mockingbird reference was just kind of like, look, I've read books, right? I've read real books. And I'm like...
unless you just wanted something that would go with the boo, and that's the first thing you thought of, or, just...
Yeah, I don't know. It's just... It felt out of place to me. Sorry.
Yeah. But no, it's basically that old Fantastic Four issue by John Byrne, where Franklin Richards like ages himself up, and it's basically like I didn't mean to, but I aged myself up.
Sorry,
I have all this scary power and I aged myself up. But she says, "Yeah, I was floating. You said not to. Then something happened. I felt full, so big. Then I was here. I had to fix. So try to bring. Oh, there should always be order. I'm like, Sinestro, is that you?" I had to fix so imperfect, so much disorder. There should always be order. Like, is Sinestro your father? But then the population of the planet's attacking, so they're afraid she's going to attack again. But no, then Leanna goes and attacks this armada. Cal and Jade free themselves. But then just when it seems like everything's going bad, Ganthet shows up to fix everything. Magic.
Magic.
But no, basically the whole plot of this is at the end it's just like, Ganthet's like, I thought I could raise them on my own, but I couldn't, so he calls the Zamorons in. Get it? Remember? Mentioned them in the first issue, the previous issue?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The giant info dump that we mentioned last issue.
I love Ganthet. Someday you will have to explain to me why you brought half of my brothers back as female. Because Kyle's like, oh, you Guardians always seem like too much of a boys' club.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we get the whole talk with Jade at the end where she's like, I'm not pregnant. But she says she wants to go back to Earth. And he's like, for how long? She's like, no, I want to go back. I don't want to stay out here in space. And she's like, I get it. You want to be out here for a while after what happened to Terry. And she said, you stay. You find whatever you need to find. I'll be at home. Ask me to stay and I will. So yeah, basically she's going back to Earth. Kyle's staying out in space. And I'm just like, I get the whole thing with Terry and everything, but I'm just like, if he really wants to help out in space, can't he like live on Earth? And if somebody needs something, can't Ganthet call him and be like, hey, get over to wherever? Yeah. I mean, wasn't that classic Hal Jordan?
That was classic Green Lantern.
Yes.
I mean, there's one Green Lantern now. Send him out to the different sectors. Don't send him on patrols. And this, did you ever read the Abnett and Lanning Nova series?
Yes.
Right after Annihilation?
Yes.
The Lone Marshal on the Frontier.
Mm-hmm.
I have so much love for that series. It was so wonderful.
Quasar eventually shows up. I wonder if I read that series, Will.
Well, he doesn't show up for a while.
I know. But I did. I read the whole series, yes.
I mean, they could do... And was that about this time? Was that 2002, 2003, that Annihilation? Or was that 2004?
It might have been... I can't remember. But I remember the Nova series was like right... I think it was right after or during Civil War, because like, was it the second or third issue? He comes back to Earth and meets up with Iron Man.
What are you guys doing?
Yeah. What are you people doing?
You idiots! There's a giant space war going on.
Speaking of meta commentary, what are you doing? Yeah, there's a space war going on. All these beings died, and you're down here punching each other. Just coincidentally at a time when Thor and Hulk weren't available. How dare you? But yeah, no, that just stuck in my craw even then and now. But just like reading the end of this last issue, I'm just like, why doesn't he commute?
He can. I mean, he's got
yes, I know.
And I think it's
because it's kind of like, I don't know if it was planned, but this kind of like breaks up Kyle and Jade, because by the time he doesn't go back until Ron Mars returns, and then she's like seeing somebody. So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that was the plan to break them up, especially with Rebirth coming.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know, because that is a relaunch of, we get the Green Lantern Corps Recharge, which stars Kyle, Guy, and John, right? Among other characters. So I don't know. It's
because I don't know if this was intentional or not, but it just seems weird, because it's like seems like we're coming back to the core in a lot of different elements, but everything else in Kyle's life we're kind of like throwing up in the air, and it's like, oh well, let's see, where we are a year down the line or whatever, and let's see what we can bring back or not. Because think about this, Kyle left Earth. Has he ever gone? Have we ever seen him with a job again? Even to this day, he's pretty much been in space. He's pretty much stays in space for the most part, as far as I know.
Well, yeah. During, post Rebirth, we saw, Hal as a pilot for like the first year or so was, reestablishing all the Earth-based stuff and all that. But once Sinestro Corps War hit, boom! It was like the accelerator was pressed, and it was straight on through to Blackest Night. And then once Blackest Night, that rolled us right into like the Alpha Lanterns and War of the Green Lanterns was that crossover that ended that volume of Green Lantern, which then led to the New 52 reboot, which wasn't really a reboot for Green Lantern, but
oh no, because it was doing well. That's the Green Lantern and who. I mean, their books were selling so well, so it's like they got the soft reboot treatment.
Mm-hmm. And then Kyle is with Rebirth. I mean, with New 52. We got the New Guardians book, and Kyle gets chosen by rings from all corps at that point, and then he's a White Lantern, or going to be a White Lantern at that point. So,
but then the comment I made about Kyle having a job, it just hit me. It's like, I know it's been a while since we've had any Green Lantern series, but like, after Hal comes back and is a pilot for a while, and then after Sinestro Corps War that goes away, have we seen any? I mean, unless they're like dating within the Corps, have we seen any kind of personal life for any Lantern since then?
Nothing on Earth, really.
No.
I mean, Kyle and Saranic.
Yeah.
Sinestro's daughter of all people.
Yes.
Spoilers. And then he and Carol, dated for a while.
Mm-hmm. But just anybody.
Really, the only Green Lantern stuff we saw on Earth was Jessica and Simon.
Yeah.
Because the Green Lanterns book was set on Earth, but the Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps was set out amongst everything.
Yes. Yeah.
So and I think during that time, John was pretty much leading the Corps at that point, wasn't he?
Maybe. Yeah.
Because I know Hal tried to lead it for a while, but Hal's not exactly I mean, he leads by example, not by telling people what to do. Yeah,
exactly. Exactly.
Because he's not a tactician like John is. He's a go in and hit something with a giant boxing glove until it stops moving kind of guy.
Exactly. Yeah, I forgot about Simon and Jessica, but it's just like, I mean, as much as I love that Jeffrey Thorne run, I mean, it was basically 24/7 core stuff. There was no personal life for anybody.
We did see Hal on Earth for one scene when Joe was reading, her message that's stay away if you've got power, if you've got a ring, stay away because somebody's coming for the Corps. I'll let you know, and then Hal shows up with the cavalry, except the cavalry is not truly the Justice League. I mean, it's got Barry, but did it have the Martian Manhunter?
Oh, I can't remember.
And it was a different Wonder Woman, I thought. I mean, it was a really weird kind of group. It wasn't like I guess it was the Justice League at the time, but it wasn't the the Big Seven basically.
Oh, you know what? It might have been. It might have been who's time on the Justice League book.
Bendis.
Ah, gotcha.
Hold on, I'm in DC Universe Infinite. I was going to say that the issue should be in there already. I mean, it's been a year, pretty much almost since we've had that. So, yeah, here we go. Green Lantern 12. Yeah, better.
Well, and So this is an interesting turn of events because the Zamorans aren't on Oa next time we see them, right?
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, because they must have already migrated to whatever planet they're on to begin, or do they become just female guardians? There's Zamorans that come back. I mean, I don't know because it doesn't feel like it's ever really referenced again.
I mean,
maybe it will be.
Do they get referenced in Rebirth? I mean, I know it's been a while since I read it, but someone here reads that every year on the dot.
I don't know of any mention of Zamorans because the only thing that we see on Oa is them putting the genie back in the bottle, right?
Yeah.
And Hal's back, and Ganthet's he gets possessed by Parallax, and then they finally root him out. And Rebirth has so many great scenes, Hal has some great moments, Kyle has some great moments, Guy has great moments, John has great moments. I mean, the four corpsmen, the core of the core, all get great moments in that series. Obviously it's a Hal book because it's Hal, it's Rebirth, and he's the only one that's dead at the time, right? But I really feel like that there was a lot of respect shown to each of those characters. It would have been, and I think we've talked about this before, it would have been really easy to just kill Kyle off,
yes,
right? Or do something, just take him off the stage.
That's what I was afraid of. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But he got to stay, and he's still doing his thing. So I really feel like because of this, this is maybe not on purpose, maybe on purpose. We don't know. We don't have anything. It's setting up a lot of the things that Jeff Johns is going to use for Rebirth and post-Rebirth Green Lantern, myth building, that he did so well on the series.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, just writing myself some notes here.
Okay.
But no, I looked at that the last issue of Thorne's, like his regular, issue 12, and no, it was like Martian Manhunter. I think it was Wally. It looks like Wally. I don't think it's even Barry. And at first I'm like, oh wait, did he bring Hawkman? No, it's like random Thanagarians. So they just had like a thing.
Well, the Thanagarians were really good in that series too. Yeah. And I know there's a lot of hate on that series, and don't get me wrong, I certainly have issues with what was done and how it was done. But there are some really bright spots in it too, that's kind of cool. But part of the problem is that, we never really got to, explore a lot of what was going on because, we only got like half a story each issue.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't really come together, except at the end, they only really kind of cross over when Johns, absorbed the Godstorm.
Yeah.
And that's something that's confusing to me from the solicits. The Guardians have quarantined Sector 2814.
Yeah.
What Guardians?
I don't know, man. Anytime, we've killed off Guardians how many times already, and it seems like they always come back. So
yeah, so I am curious about the new status quo because it's not what maybe it is, but maybe it doesn't seem like it's what we were led to believe at the end of the last series, and even the Emerald Knight one shot, which appears to be the end of that storyline. Maybe, we don't know.
I mean, there's nothing on the horizon that I can see with Jeffrey Thorne on Green Lantern. So, hopefully everything will be explained. I mean, I have high hopes for Jeremy Adams because I do enjoy his work on the Flash. So, and he does seem like a fan of like it seems like he knows like some of his Flash history and stuff that's come before. So hopefully, if he doesn't know, he should be doing. He'll probably do his homework on Green Lantern and stuff that's come before, especially within the last year or so.
Yeah, I mean, my gut tells me that they didn't know that they were setting up all this stuff. It was just, hey, we're going to start bringing back some of these elements because, hey, they're Green Lantern's cool, and these are part of Green Lantern, mythology here.
Or is it a number? Or is it a numbers thing where it's like, hey, the numbers are down. Why don't we start reintroducing some more Green Lantern stuff? That's what I'm saying. I wonder if did Cal go into space was when it kind of forced to do that, and he used the whole Terry thing as an excuse.
I don't know. He still does write, personal stuff between Kyle and Jade.
Yeah.
But, it's not, I think what he really, at least as a reader, again, I feel like he loved writing Kyle as struggling artist in New York.
Oh, yeah.
Because we got so many issues of almost exclusively that, with just a little bit of Green Lantern stuff thrown in, every now and then.
Yeah, and the Terry stuff, yeah.
Yeah. And now the Terry story, I think, is really important. And I think it overshadows, the build up to Ion and Circle of Fire, because frankly, I think it's a better story than all of those. But it's also important because, at the time, it was a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
Right? To feature a character that was gay, in a comic. This was 2000, what? Are we in 2003 at this point?
Yeah, 2003, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And if, we had to get Circle of Fire, Ion, and, these stories until Winnick leaves to get that story, I think perhaps it might have been worth it. Yeah. But I don't know maybe that's damning the other stories with faint praise. I'm not sure. But because, I don't think I've hid that I've been pretty disappointed. Yeah. With the Winnick run, and maybe I just built it up too much beforehand because I was like, this is Judd Winnick, this is going to be great, and it hasn't been so great, unfortunately, at least in my opinion. Reading it reading it clean for the first time without the baggage of 20 years or whatever, but I don't know. Yeah, no, I'm rambling at this point.
Like I said, I had forgotten a lot of this. Like I forgot Mogo was in those first two issues, and yeah, the Winnick stuff. It's just, I don't know. It's like you said, the pacing, something. I don't know. It just seems like Mars always had more in there.
Yeah, the issues, Mars's issues seem better constructed. Yes, to me, and and again, I think, and I don't know this for a fact, I think that this was like Winnick's first superhero comics monthly work, right? Mm-hmm. So it's probably not fair to compare him, a writer just starting out, to Ron Mars, who had been doing it for a while, at that, for a decade, almost at that point. So I don't know. But again, I've come back to read Green Lantern, and yes, I know I don't like Emerald Twilight. I'm sorry, Mr. Mars, I don't like it. But coming back with fresh eyes to read the Mars run, it is better than I remember it. I'm not colored by the, oh God, they just took away my favorite character kind of reading. So, but then, coming into before the Winnick run, I was jazzed about it. I was looking forward to it. And because I hadn't read them, and they just don't measure up to what came before, unfortunately, in at least in my mind.
Yeah. Again, I was like I said, I think last time I was nostalgic, but I think it was for the Ron Mars stuff, not this stuff.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't know. It would be interesting to see the sales numbers. Yeah. Just to see if that, are they losing readers on a month-to-month basis? Obviously, and maybe this is an incorrect supposition too, if the title was doing fine, they wouldn't have canceled it and did Rebirth, right? Yeah. I think that's fair to say. Although, I'm sure John's had a pretty compelling pitch for.
Well, yeah, and I believe I heard he's like the guy he liked all the
the classic
Silver Age guys. Yeah. But still, I don't think they would have let him get away with it if this thing was selling like hotcakes.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It's all supposition at this point. Yeah. 20 years later, 30 years later, but it is an interesting kind of observation that a lot of Green Lantern lore is slowly leaking back into the book, right before it gets canceled, and then it gets used to really great effect by another writer. So I don't know what that means.
I always feel like maybe they were planning a return of the core. Maybe they didn't have the fully formed plan, but I think it may have been like, yeah, let's start bringing some elements back.
Maybe they had a rough plan. I mean, 200 was coming up, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, that would have been a big deal.
Yes.
If they would have hit 200, because that's
only
first the Silver Age series hit 200 and then got renamed to Green Lantern Corps.
Yep.
But maybe that was in the back of their minds, but they didn't get close. They were still a year and a half out from that. When the title got canceled. So at this point they're 3 years out from it,
something like that. I think they knew the writing was on the wall when We're on Mars came back. So
that they knew at that point, because he was brought in to do the last 6 issues, right?
Because that was like 176. So
so I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah,
more interesting than this issue, actually. So.
Yes. All right. Well, next week we're gonna have something a lot more interesting, Mr. Will. We're gonna before you listen to our next episode, make sure you check out Marvel Tales episode 13 over on the Capes and Lunatics podcast for part 1 of the Avengers JLA crossover, which we'll be doing with Justin. Yes, part 1 will be there, and then part 2 will be right here on Sector 214. So,
and Marvel Tales is going to do just like Marvel, and we're going to do it just like Marvel and DC. Marvel Tales is going to do issue 1 and 3, and then we're going to do issues 2 and 4. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm not that talented. Oh my god. No, we'll do 1 and 2 there, and then we'll do 3 and 4 here. Yes. So yes, we'll guest on that show, and Justin will join us here next episode. So, but yes, Kurt Busiek, George Perez. Yes, I think with this will keep our attention a lot more.
Yeah, and it, I think a certain Cosmic Avenger might show up in that one as well.
Yes, I just started reading it, and yes, he was at least on a page or 2. Yes. Yep. Oh, there's so much in there.
There's so much, and there's so much to love. I've got the big hardcover back there somewhere behind a stack.
Yeah, I just started reading the first one, and of course, Cal's in it. The Spectre makes a quick cameo too. Yeah,
and then, if I remember right, time changes, and Hal shows up as a Green Lantern because it's time displaced. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I told Justin last night, I was like, I didn't start reading it. I was just like flipping through, trying to refresh my memory. I'm like, oh yeah, Ben Grimm in the Batcave. Whoa.
Dark Side with the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yes. The Justice League versus Terminus, and the Avengers versus Starro. Yes.
Yes. This is a good thing. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, so yes, kids. So yes, I mean you could send your thoughts on the Judd Winnick stuff, but I know she said she probably will. So we'll see, but we may have some feedback next time from a Miss Lilith Hellfire. So
nice,
it's big. All right,
big deal, big honking deal.
So that's next week, and then in 2 weeks, we'll get to that Green Lantern, Green Arrow crossover from Green Lantern 162 through 164 and Green Arrow 23 through 25.
And that's the sunset on the Winnick run, right?
Yes. Yep. That's what it looks like. Yeah. Because after that, 3 weeks looks like we start the Ben Robb run. So,
and we have about a 12-issue run with him, I think.
I think 160. Maybe not. It's like 165 to 175. Yeah.
Oh, so 11 issues. So, almost. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, because then Mars takes over, and then,
And then that's it for Green Lantern Volume 3.
This episode we're doing right now is episode 110. Remember, kids, 118 is something called Rebirth. So Green Lantern Rebirth. So.
What is this Rebirth you speak of, Phil? I've never heard of this. I'm looking forward to that, kind of.
No! We've really been talking about it since episode 1.
Exactly.
All right.
10 episodes later.
I know.
Marathon, not a sprint.
All right, kids. So, yeah, send your thoughts. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, go check out our new website for all your one-stop shopping, episodes, social media, merchandise, list of who's on what show.
You almost hit me with that, man. Sorry.
Tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. It's in the show notes. All right, Mr. William Allred, Master of the Core, Master of the Quantum Zone, Master of hopefully all of the shipped crossover divisions. Where can people get a hold of you?
You can find me at Wallred. It's at WALLRED at Gmail and Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and probably other social media that I need to work on and continue to set up. But I'm pretty easy to find if you need me. If you'd like to check out the comics I write, you can check out Crossover Division at crossoverdivision.com. And like Phil said, number 4. I have shipped out like all but 2 packages, I think. So it is out into the world, and hopefully people are enjoying it. You can also check out Diary of Night at diaryofnight.com. And I annoy another host on a weekly basis for podcasting besides Phil. That would be Kevin Joseph, writer of Tart. And we co-host a show called Explain Yourself, where we bring on comic book Kickstarter creators and talk about their live projects to, try to get as many eyeballs as we can on Kickstarters that are running. So you can check it out as Explain Yourself, and that's Friday nights at 11 Eastern Standard Time. And finally, we talked a little bit about a certain Cosmic Avenger that Phil and I both have a lot of love for, and that would be Quasar. And obviously you probably love Quasar too, because you have great taste and you're listening to us. So if you want to find out more about Quasar, you can at the Quantum Zone, quantumzone.org.
I'll put it in my navel.
Hey, boys, you look at the party? I love the party. Seems like I'm getting a package every other day.
And yes, kids, and speaking of that, yes, go subscribe to our Patreon now, because you'll be able to get weeks ahead of time before everyone else a new episode of the Quantum Zone coming soon. With the two of us and long lost friend Mr. Macona.
Who is this you speak of?
Let me refresh your memory.
Bucket Lilith.
That guy. I remember that guy.
When he gives me his bone.
It's a bit of a heel turn.
That was like a Universal revision or two ago, right?
I know. See, it feels like it.
The yin to Darkhawk's yang.
See you later, bunkies.
So yes, so you're gonna want more. You want more cosmic-y goodness? It's coming.
It is coming.
All right, thank you for joining us again. Next week, the day before our episode hits, Marvel Tales 13 over on Capes and Lunatics for part 1, and then back here for part 2, the JLA Avengers crossover. So much DC, so much Marvel.
So much goodness.
I saw Green Lantern. I saw Quarians. Quasar, yes. So much of our love's in there. Don't worry, Ray. Batman's there too. Don't worry. All right, kids, come back next time. And remember, real estate, it's really tricky. Good night. Oh, God.